Hey guys, LunarSpawn27 here, bringing you Toriko chapter 317, Your Hand. So the chapter begins with the anticipated fight between Monkey King Bambina and Kaka and... Oh, who am I kidding? This wasn't a fight. This was a one-sided massacre. The Monkey King was so angry that it knocked Kaka with a single swipe of its tail. It must have been freaking powerful considering all those veins. And I will give kudos to Kaka for at least hanging on. Well, literally as she grabbed onto the Monkey King's tail.
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
But then this happens.
I'm a firing my laser!
Yep, that actually happened. That was it. It was over just like that. Sure, the Monkey King did destroy a part of his tail, but he doesn't give a shit. I mean, look at that face. He's like so goddamn happy. And you know what's even crazier? That was his true power. That was his true power as one of the 8 King of Beasts. Okay, time to get serious. If that's his true power, then how freaking strong are the rest of the 8 King of Beasts? Because if they're even stronger than the Monkey King, then oh my god, it's gonna be nuts seeing them all. Now, I was a little disappointed that Kaka didn't put up more of a fight, but then again, this is the Monkey King after all, but I really did want to see her skills, you know, considering that she is a Blue Nitro and all. But the question is she dead or not? Because, for all we know, she could have been disintegrated by that massive energy blast, or she might still survive, but barely, and the energy blast sent her flying all the way across Area 7. But considering that this is the Monkey King's true power, she might actually go around the entire freaking world, for all we know. Now, the rest of the Toriko chapter was dedicated to healing Komatsu. At first, Shimabukuro made it believe that the 4 Heavenly Kings were too late to save Komatsu's life. But, you know, considering that Komatsu is one of the main characters, it's obvious that he's going to live. Now, because of the sheer force of the Monkey King's attack, it caused 100G Mountain to collapse. I don't know if that means that the entire mountain is going to collapse or a portion of it is going to collapse. I'm hoping it's a portion because if it's the entire mountain, then that's freaking overkill. Yun lets the 4 Heavenly Kings inside by inhaling them, and okay, I cannot get over the fact that Yun is a camping monster. That still does not make any sense to me. I've been looking up information about wall penguins and it never mentioned anything about them being camping monsters or them having safe zones. You know, come to think of it, I don't think Yun inhaled them to get them inside the safe zone. I think the reason why Yun inhaled was to make the safe zone big enough for all of them to fit in. I mean, you can clearly tell in this like one panel here that Yun is getting squished from the size of the safe zone. Well, if that's the case, did they just walk into the safe zone or did they go through that door on Yun's belly? Anyway, they tried to give him Pear, which was a single drop from the shiny monkey ball, but nothing happened since the hole on Komatsu's chest was still there. Coco notices something terribly wrong from Komatsu's electromagnetic waves, and as I said before, it really looked like that they were too late to save him. Thinking back to what he said in the back channel, which by the way, it was confirmed that the dimension in the previous chapter was the back channel, so he holds Komatsu's hand and yells for him to come back to them, and okay, is it just me or are Toriko's bodily fluids, his like tears, sweat, maybe even his mucus are falling into that hole on his chest? I mean, that's just kind of weird, I'm just saying. Coco, Sunny, and Zebra also yell out for Komatsu, and I guess it seems to have worked because Komatsu swallowed that drop of Pear, and apparently a single drop of Pear was enough to fill that hole on his chest, and then they get transported into the back channel again. Okay, when I read that, I was confused as to how the hell that worked, but later on it was revealed more to Pear filling up Komatsu's chest wound. Now, while they're in the back channel, they notice this floating heart, which it's freaking obvious that it's Komatsu's heart, but for some reason we had to have Coco, Sunny, and Zebra commenting about it, and Sunny and Zebra's comments about the heart were kind of mean. I mean, the poor little guy is about to die, and Sunny says that his heart hasn't got a shred of beauty, and then Zebra said that the heart has an incredibly weak insect-like pulse. I don't think those are supposed to be compliments. So Coco, Sunny, and Zebra try to grab the hearts, but they couldn't touch it, which would mean that the entire time they entered the back channel, they weren't really there. They were able to see the place, but they couldn't touch anything that's in it, which also confirms that the Monkey King's girlfriend and Komatsu had to be in a death-like state or dead in order to actually exist in the back channel. This is where Pear comes in, because the liquid pear that filled Komatsu's hole on his chest works as a gateway to the back channel. So for them to get Komatsu's heart, Toriko has to put his entire freaking arm through Pear, grab onto it, and bring back Komatsu's heart from the back channel into the real world. Okay, I kinda understand how that works, but I'm hoping when all this is done, someone is going to explain more about this back channel and we'll learn more about it. Also, how big was Komatsu's wound for Toriko's entire arm to go through it? Because at first it didn't look like that hole was big enough to fit Toriko's entire fist, let alone his arm. Anyway, Toriko puts Komatsu's heart back in place. Pear starts to glow and mend Komatsu's wound, and we can also assume that Pear was able to reconnect the major arteries and veins that connect to his heart. When the glow faded, Komatsu's hair is back to normal and he's now alive and awake. However, he now has a scar on his chest and back. His stomach growls, and the first words he says after coming back to life is, "Ah, I'm starved." Even though their bodily fluids were leaked out because of the Sundriko pollen, you can still tell that the four Heavenly Kings were starting to cry again. And that's basically where the chapter ends. They start crying, and they yell at Komatsu's name, and it seems that they're happy that he's alive. Then again, why wouldn't they be happy? So yeah, that is Toriko chapter 317. What did I think? Honestly, I thought it was a decent chapter. I wasn't expecting the fight between Kaka and the Monkey King to be completely one-sided, with obviously the Monkey King winning, which I'm not gonna lie, it was freaking awesome. The fight lasted 2.5 pages and a 2-page spread. That was pretty quick, but since we don't know what happened to Kaka, I was actually hoping she would stick around so we could learn more about what her deal is. We know that she's working with the rest of the Blue Nitros and Neo, but I really was hoping to know more about her true self. Since the majority of the chapter was about healing Komatsu, I really didn't mind it. In fact, I'm really glad that Komatsu is alive. He may not be one of my favorite characters in Toriko, but I still like the little guy and his own way of contributing to the group, so I'm really glad that he's okay now. Now, since they've obtained Pear, it's obvious that they're going to eat Pear together, which would mean that the four Heavenly Kings will obviously gain a power boost. Maybe they can use the other arm of their gourmet cell demons now if they did eat Pear. But since Komatsu is going to eat Pear as well, does this mean that his gourmet cells are going to get stronger as well? I mean, he did eat air, but again, we still don't know a lot about Komatsu's gourmet cells right now. That is still a bit of a mystery. So since Komatsu is alive, I'm hoping next week we'll learn what his experience was like in the back channel and how he knew the information on capturing Pear. I read a comment saying that it might have been Goemon who told him, since it was hinted that he's still around in Area 7 and he might have also been in the back channel as well, which I hope it's true because I want to see Goemon come back again. I'm also curious as to what's going to happen now with the Monkey King and how they're going to deliver Pear to the human world. Plus, how are they going to get to Area 6 since the Den Shark may or may not be destroyed by the 100 times normal gravity. Well, overall, I thought this chapter was a decent read. I'm glad that Komatsu is alive, and I'm definitely looking forward to next week's chapter. So, tell me guys, what did you think of this week's chapter of Toriko? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you think of the whole process of healing Komatsu, and are you happy that he's alive? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video if you like it, and subscribe to more videos, and be sure to check out my Facebook fan page and Google+. So yeah, that is Toriko chapter 317. I'm going to respond 27, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!